What book should I publish next and how should I decide? In this video, I'm going to be walking through some research and some of my thought process behind trying to find the next book that I want to publish on Amazon KDP. If you're new to the channel, I'm Taylor the Ecom RN. I started self-publishing on Amazon in 2023. I started this channel to document my progress and hopefully to inspire and encourage others who want to start self-publishing themselves. So let's get into this video, dive into the thought process behind my next book and how I'm going to research it. Okay, so thinking about next books here, you can see here are several of the books that I already have live and published on Amazon. And I kind of have a few decisions to make as to which direction I want to take this business and how I want to grow it with the next book that I publish. So let's look at a few of my options. Option one would definitely probably be the easiest, and this would be to combine two of my existing nursing books into one book and offer it as a bundle. I really like this idea because it'd be very simple and straightforward, and I could get this book up and listed very quickly. Now, the cons would be that, I probably won't be adding that much revenue to the business by doing this combo book. It's kind of the lowest hanging fruit, and so I would also expect to kind of make the least amount of money in return for pursuing this book. The next idea I have is to do a new book for nursing students. So this would be in a niche that I already have some books in. It would be with an author or pen name that I already have established and an email list that I already have established. So this would probably be the next easiest option because I kind of already have the framework in place to launch a book in this niche. The third option is to do another coloring book for cats. I already have an author or pen name specifically for cat-based coloring books. But I also thought maybe I would do my first activity book, or maybe there's some other book I could launch in this cat niche and take advantage of the pen name that I'm already using there. But this would be going a little bit more out on a limb, especially if I do an activity book. That's something I haven't done before. And then the last option would be to try to do my first high content book. So I've been playing with this idea. There's a lot of things that I would like about a high content book. This would require probably a new pen name, setting up a new email list, and the whole 9 yards. So not to mention that I would also be having to write an entire high content book. So this is definitely the most intimidating to me and it would require the most work by far, but it could potentially be the highest return on my investment of time, could be the most bang for my buck. So let's break these down in a little bit more detail. So for that first option, combining two books, you can see here I have two pharmacology kind of workbooks for nursing students. One is for unit conversions and one's for dosage calculations. These are very, very intimately related. So this would be very easy and straightforward to combine into one bundled book item. You can see I have them listed at $14.99, and the idea would be that I would leave these at $14.99 and then release the combo for $19.99. Now, there's some thought that has to go into this, particularly what my royalties would be, because I would be essentially doubling the book's length and only adding $5 more on the price. I might not be making as much in royalties as you might expect. So let's break that down really quick and see what the difference would be. But first, let's look at the numbers here. So here are these two books. I've pulled these and separated them from my royalties estimator. You can see this is for the lifetime of the books. And together they have done $3,400 in royalties. You can see I published these in right around January of 2024. So, it's hard to say how much more money I would reasonably expect to make from combining these two books. I do think it would be more valuable to the reader to have both of these combined at a discount. So there's some potential that I get some more sales there, but you can see that this is pretty low hanging fruit. It probably wouldn't be adding too much to my royalties. Okay, so let's look at option number 2 really quick, the new nursing book. Now, I have some ideas for this, so let me pull up my Amazon and my Helium-10 so we can look at some numbers. So I've just searched in here books for nursing school students, a very broad keyword there that I've put in. And you can see this is actually one of my books up here towards the top, which is kind of cool to see. And then we have this dose calc book. So this is interesting because this ties into the last point. This book does very, very well. This is another dosage calculation workbook for nursing students. You can see their price is $23. And they're selling quite a number of copies a month. We could load this. This is a decent estimate, but I wouldn't swear by this Helium-10 estimate, but it gives us a good ballpark that they might be doing as many as 300 sales a month for, maybe $7,000 in revenue. Now, keep in mind, that's a revenue number, not their actual take-home royalties for this book, but 1,500 is a very good BSR, very, very good BSR. So that would be some staunch competition. I would be offering my book for, a few dollars cheaper at the $19.99 price point. So again, it's something to take into consideration, but I'm more interested right now in looking for new nursing books that I could launch. Now, here's an interesting book, 140 must-know meds for nursing pharmacology. I quite like this. You can see the price point is a little low at $12.49, and I'm not exactly sure how I would compete against this book. It's got almost 2,000 reviews. One simple angle is I could do, 150 must-know meds instead of 140. I could add some medications in there. But what I thought was quite interesting was another book by this same author, Nursing School Secrets. They haven't quite generated enough sales data to know what their 30-day revenue is for this book, but we could estimate it off the BSR. So if we come down here, we can see that this is 190,000 BSR. So it's not great, but they are selling some copies every month. And the idea that this brought to mind was, what if I did a combination? So what if I did 150 must-know meds for nursing school plus pharmacology study secrets or something like that? So it's a book, it's almost a bundle book in a sense. It would cover, how to study for pharmacology and, pharmacology strategies. And it would also include 150 of the must-know meds that you'd need to pass your nursing school exams. So that's an interesting book concept. What I like about this concept as well is I could do another set of flashcards. So once I get all the information for those 150 medications, I could also just turn that into a set of flashcards and see if I could sell those. So that's an interesting route as well. That's kind of what I was thinking with a new nursing book. All right, the third option here is a new cat coloring book or maybe an activity book. And so I'd like to dive into this niche a little bit, but let's look and see. I'll show you guys what I have already on my account to give you guys an example of what my capabilities are and where I'm at in this niche. You can see I have several others here. Ooh, we went over this one last time. Don't worry about that guy. He's in draft. But then I have a few other coloring books here. Cats Are Jerks, Simply Cats, Large and Bold, Mesmerizing Cat Mandalas, and Tiny Kawaii Cats. So I have some experience in this niche and in publishing coloring books in general. So let's see what's going on in this niche nowadays. So I put in a pretty generic search term cat coloring book here. Let's see what these top sellers are doing. Wow, so the new bestseller in this niche, Cat Moments Meow Life Coloring Book, this one here, this BSR is 104. That's absolutely insane. That must be selling thousands of copies a month. That's absolutely mind-blowing. You can see the deal with these coloring books is really about volume, because at $7.99, you're probably only making, $1 or $2 in royalties per sale. So you do have to try to compensate by selling a lot of books. You can see here a lot of this is stuff that I've tried to do myself. Cute cats. We have Pusheen cats, if that's how you say that. We have cats being bad. And we have a large print cats here. So these were all things that I kind of looked into. Here's another one, Cat Mandalas. And so I don't know. Here, we'll look at that, Kawaii Cats. I'm not exactly sure what direction I would go here, but one thing that I am kind of interested in is if there's something like a cat activity book, or maybe there's something like, facts about cats or something like that, that would maybe appeal to kids who like a specific type of cat. Well, I'm really surprised by this one. This book has just under 100,000 BSR, and this cover does not look great, but this is really interesting. 70 activities for kids. So, interesting. Find the Cat Challenge. Wow, this one is selling really well with a BSR of 17,000. We have another book here, 77,000. Here's kind of what I was thinking. Trivia for kids who love cats, but you can see that's up at 203,000, so not selling as well. But this is kind of interesting. There seems like there might be some space in this niche because there's a lot going on this first page of search results. We've got, crosswords, we've got find the cat, we've got cat trivia, dot to dot, which is another type of activity book. Interesting. Let's dive into this a little bit and let's see what's going on with this book. I'm really intrigued by this. I'm just coming down to see what other books are related to this. And we have an cat activity book for kids that looks even worse, no offense. This one doesn't look great either. And this is kind of new with 2 reviews. This is a coloring book, so not quite what we're looking for. Here's an educational book that doesn't have any reviews, it doesn't look like. Find the cat again here. Interesting. Well, let's take a look. Let's see if we can see inside what is going on with this book. Okay, we've got Spot the Difference. And then we have some strange fact. Polydactyl cats are known to have a thumb or something. Okay, interesting. Connect the dots here is the activity. Can you find 6 things hidden? Okay. What's this, a little maze? Oh, and you can draw this in yourself. Wow. So I am a little surprised at how attainable this seems to be. This niche doesn't seem to have a ton of people publishing in it, and it doesn't seem like, this seems pretty attainable to me. I think I could make a cover that would be a little bit better than this, or at least on par, and I think I could definitely work with someone to make some better activities and do some better illustrations in here. So that's really interesting. That could be an option. Okay, and the last option I'm thinking about is to do my first high content book. And I have a couple ideas for this, mostly because it's something that I've been dealing with. I got a puppy recently, and I thought, wow, I've learned a lot trying to train this puppy myself. And so maybe there's some space in a niche about training dogs that I could take advantage of and make a high content book about training your dog. So I put in puppy training book here on Amazon. And wow, you can see here that there are some really good selling books. This is a BSR of 1800. Here's 4500. But these, 9,000 reviews, 4,000 reviews. Obviously everyone knows who this is, so that's going to be tough to compete with. But we have some interesting one here. Dog training for kids. That's selling very well at 6,000. We have this guy's Dog Training Revolution, also selling at 6,000. So I would have to niche this down quite a bit. So here's an interesting one. Perfect Puppy in 7 days. That's really interesting, selling just under 7,000 BSR. So that's quite a good BSR. According to this, maybe about 400 books per month sold. And what's great about these books is look at the price points we're talking about here. This is $25. That's an insane price point for a book like this. So that could be really cool. Maybe I could do a spin-off of this and I could niche down and do something about my breed of dog in particular. So I tried to go into this niche a little bit more in depth, kind of like the 7 easy steps or in 7 days. You can see here's this bestseller. So that's obviously doing great. But when we come down here and we see how to housebreak your puppy in 7 days or less, you can see this book is not selling. That's a BSR of 3 million. That's not good. Then we have the previously mentioned book, Perfect Puppy in 7 days. It's doing very well. And then we have another one here, Mastering Puppy Training in 7 days. Not doing quite as well, 350,000 BSR. And then we have this one, How to Housebreak Your Dog in 7 days. This is doing well. It's under 100,000, so that's always good to see. Again, How to Train Your Dog in 7 days, 18,000. Another one, How to Train Your Dog in 7 days, but this one's at 3 million. So this looks like it might be a little bit tougher to stand out. I haven't really figured out a way to differentiate here. Nothing is really standing out as a good way to crush this niche. So let's see if we can niche down a little bit more. So I've gone ahead and niche down a little bit with fetch training. This is, maybe one particular thing that you want to train your dog to do. You can see there's a couple books here. This one's under 200,000 BSR, but still over 100,000. This one's well over 100,000. This one's at 2 million. So doesn't look like there's much demand for this. And then this is interesting because this is something that I was thinking. This is niche down by breed. So you can see this is Golden Retriever training, German Shepherd training, Labrador Retriever training. But unfortunately, these are not selling very well either. So that's kind of another potential option that seems to be ruled out. So let's try a different approach here. I'm going to copy this ASIN of the best-selling book here, Puppy Training in 7 Easy Steps. And I'm actually going to come over to my Helium 10 account and use the Cerebro reverse product lookup and see what keywords people are searching for before they go and buy this book. So these will be the keywords that that customer search, and then this book shows up and they go and buy it. I like to rank this by keyword sales, so that's the estimated number of weekly sales attributed to each of these keyword searches. It's very interesting. Dog food is one of the top ones. I don't know if I'm buying that. But then we have potty training book, clicker training. Potty training comes up again down here. Let's filter this a little better and let's do a word count of 3. And then here's what we see. We see potty training, clicker training, potty training again, potty training again, potty training again. Okay, so I think we're kind of seeing a theme here. Potty training in 3 days. So a lot of people want to know how to potty train their dog. That makes sense. That was quite the hassle. So I've come back over to Amazon and put potty training for dogs in here. Okay, and we have here how to housebreak your puppy in just 7 days. So that's all coming together. Here again is our bestseller. Potty train a puppy. This one's doing quite well at 100,000. Another potty training book here at 300,000, now 400,000, 500,000. This is interesting. This is under 100,000. How to house train a dog of any age. Interesting. That doesn't look like it would be doing as well as it is, but there you have it. Maybe it's the price point at $4. We saw this book previously. Yep. So this does seem to be, so if I was looking at this and I was going to be really excited about a niche, what would I be looking for? Essentially, I'd be looking for several books that are doing less than, 200,000 BSR, ideally less than 100,000 BSR. And what would happen is there would be a few books doing those kinds of sales numbers, but then quickly it would drop off and I would be seeing books down here on the first page that were totally unrelated. So that would tell me that yes, there's demand, there's books selling for this particular niche, and there just aren't that many books in that niche available for people to buy. But as I come down here, I see that there's potty training books all the way down here. There's even like a log book, which is kind of interesting. That's an interesting idea. But you can see still all the way down here, we're still seeing potty training books all the way down the first page. So I don't know. I don't know if that's, I don't know if that would actually work. Let's check back in on Cerebro here. So clicker training is interesting. This is something that I did with my puppy as well. I wonder if there's a lot of books about that. So there are some here. This one's doing well at 88,000. 144 is not terrible. 168 is getting borderline. Again, 186. Now we're over 500. Now we're over 1 million. And this is still on the first page. So I don't know. This is, this also doesn't look super appealing. But then again, this is my first time really researching into high content book niches. So maybe I'm overlooking some component of how to think about doing this. So as I said, that fourth option is kind of the most daunting to me. This would be a totally new endeavor, but I'm open to pursuing any one of these 4 options. So let me know what you think. All right, that's it for this video. I hope it gave you some insight. Let me know in the comments, which book do you think I should move forward with? What would you like to see me publish for my next book? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, so let me know. As always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.